Okay, I want to call this meeting to order. Take the roll here. We have Mayor Hunt is absent today. Everybody else is here. Before we approve the agenda, do we have anything that needs to be added to tonight's agenda?
Do you,
We have the disposal, FY disposal list, FY 2024.
Okay, Frank, what do you have?
And I have I have disposal of 3 items declaring surplus.
Okay,
that'll go under new business.
yep, under new business, that'd be C and D.
C,
Yep, C will be disposal 2024 list, and D will be the disposal of the 3 items to declare surplus. And we don't have a copy of our minutes from the last meeting, but Frank has them. We'll get
send 'em.
those, and we'll have them.
I think they were
marked.
already sent, they just wasn't in the packet.
Okay. All right, nobody's here for any public comments. Any old business needs to be discussed? Joe, Mike, you have anything?
no,
All right, let's go to
nothing,
7.
nothing,
which
nothing to
are
be
bid.
added here. Looks like we're gonna be talking about everything I know about.
Yeah. Let's go to number 7, new business, revision to fixed asset policy.
All right. This is what I'm talking about. If you're not familiar with that document, this is part of our purchasing policy. This is how any new equipment, vehicles, buildings, land, how it's accounted for. And one thing that came up during the audit, and we've been doing this for quite some time, is the equipment we get from what they call the law enforcement support office.
Okay.
It's part of the state general services, and we're allowed to go to the Department of General Services and get equipment that has been declared, it comes from all over the place. So we're allowed to get it at no cost. But then there's some special equipment, and it's called, they call it LESO, Law Enforcement Support Office, and it comes from the Department of Defense. Now, we have always treated any of that property that the sheriff goes and gets as inventory, no matter what it costs. Because normally, if it's a fixed asset, if it's $5,000 or more, it's put on our account. It's a financial thing, I have to depreciate it. But the property they get, it may say it was purchased for $30,000, but that was a long time ago, so it's probably not worth it now. So I've already talked to the auditor said, well, I've always put it on this inventory, but I really don't know what the true cost would be now. So they've agreed, but they said I needed to put it in the policy. So that's what I've done. To page 3, Dennis, talking about page 3, and this law enforcement. Where I've highlighted, I actually have 2 areas highlighted. There's something else they couldn't find. See, number 9, that's what I'm talking about right there, that if they get that property, no matter what it says on the sheet, we're gonna put it on our records as inventory only. So we have a record of it, but it's not gonna be depreciated and put on our financials. So that's the way we can keep up with it like we're supposed to. And
Okay. I had a question.
Sure, go ahead.
I just said that, it says be treated as inventory will not be depreciated. If
Yes.
you've got vehicles, they're depreciating at all times.
Number 6, there's
6,
an
yeah.
exception, and I went ahead and added that. That's another thing we've always done with pursuit vehicles, because we don't keep them 5 years. Usually when you get a vehicle, like the sheriff's vehicle, we would put that on, as a fixed asset. But the road deputies, no, they don't ever keep them 5 years. They too many miles and then trade them in or sell them or whatever. So we've always just treated those as inventory, we have a record of it. But it's not actually put on the books for 5 years and actually depreciated and put on the financials.
Has it always been that way?
Yes, the last page is the schedule we've used ever since I've been here. Actually, I created that in 2006. And it says on there how if something is put on the county financials as a fixed asset, capital asset, it's been referred to either way. This is how many years it depreciates for. So the one where it says vehicles, you see where it says patrol car inventory only. So we've never depreciated them if they're road deputies. Everything else, yes. So they, the auditor said it needed to be in our policy, so I added it. So that's what I added to page 3. That's highlighted in yellow.
Okay, as information, again, you said a little earlier something about an audit. When was our last audit
We're
done?
being audited right now.
I'm sorry.
We're in the middle of our audit right now.
Okay,
Mhm.
so we're auditing everybody or just the,
Of the entire county.
okay,
And part of that is your inventory, your fixed assets. I've got a book that I keep up with during the year, which is this disposal. Put on the new stuff. If it's inventory, it goes in inventory. If it's a capital asset, fixed asset, that's 5,000 or more, then it's put on the books, depreciated by that schedule on that last page.
so who is in charge of actually doing the audit?
The state comptroller's office.
The comptroller's office is here?
It's in
Becau-
field auditors down here.
And the reason I'm asking is because we encouraged during the budget and training and some things we get at CTASC is to work with them or to work with whoever and go through and help tag or do the inventories for the different
Well,
departments.
The reason for that is that's part of the staff's duties.
Does Jonathan, is he gonna do the inventory?
I have Jonathan and the purchasing assistant that I just hired, they're gonna do it together because it's kind of massive, especially if you get to the sheriff's office and they work shifts. Some of the smaller offices like mine, an hour to do it, so.
Well, they had encouraged us to do that, so I was gonna volunteer if you needed some help. I was gonna be glad to help with that,
Okay, well,
just to take
we
the
can
load
talk
off.
about that, but it's gotta be, county staff would have to be with you. 'Cause
Sure, well, what I mean was I'd work along with the staff or whenever
Okay.
they're working, of course.
Yeah, because you do have to, supposed to, according to the policy, maybe in the regular person policy, we do, inventory is to be done annually in May. And so we send out a list of all of the property that belongs to each department. We ask them to go through it, and they don't have it, put the reason why, and then we look at our records and we go out and actually have to.
And the comptroller comes in and checks that and
They
makes sure it's,
spot check our records,
okay,
yes.
okay. Well, if, like I said, to help with that, I'd be glad to
Okay.
to do something like that, because they were encouraging us in our different training meetings to help with that as commissioners, to help with that. Not to do it, but to assist those who were doing it.
Well, I don't have a problem with it, but sometimes some of your employees may think. Because, that's fine, but I guess what I'm trying to say is it's kind of their job to do it. If that makes any sense, but if you want to accompany them, that's fine.
Okay.
So that's the revisions to page 3 of the.
Is that something we need to vote on? Okay.
Of the general fixed assets, policies, and procedures, not the formal name.
I'll make a motion to approve the revisions.
Second.
Frank Watkins makes a motion to approve it. Second
Second.
by Mr. Hodge. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Any opposed? Mayor, you good with that? I mean Commissioner Hunt? You commissioner or mayor today?
Titles even. Yeah, you guys are doing the job.
Okay. All right, so let's move on down to law enforcement support office. That's the thing. Let's go to,
That's what we just did.
okay, all right, let's go to B. Sheriff Parton discussion, gov deal auctions, as well as other types of consignment type entities.
So,
for the last few years, the county has pretty much utilized an online service called GovDeals to dispose of any surplus properties. We are currently set up, the county is currently set up to auction those items, and that's the only mode of, or only avenue or conduit of getting rid of any surplus items. We are starting to see a trend with the way GovDeals is set up to where we're actually losing value. We're losing money. Coffee County is currently set up at a 12.5% commission, and then there's a buyer's premium commission on top of that. So the only winner in this is GovDeals. And we're also seeing, even though there's items that we may have that is good to go on the World Wide Web, and I mean, we've had people come in years past all the way from Canada to pick items up. Now, later on y'all can talk about it, but now that Mariana's office is taking this over, there's different formulas. The county contracted the 12.5% because they wanted GovDeals to collect all the money. They wanted them to do all the paperwork. Well, that costs you more money. If you want to sell an item on GovDeals, you can get down to a regular 10% or even a 7.5% or 5% contract, and the people come over here to budgets, write their check, and all GovDeals is doing is facilitating
Yeah, we've done that.
the auction. But we used to have live auctions. We used to have some big auctions. So I have bought some used vehicles in the last 6.5 years through GSA down at Murfreesboro, and we're fortunate we've got two government auctions close to us. One's in Murfreesboro and one's in Chattanooga. We gathered some information from Dealers Auto Auctions there in Murfreesboro, which handle all the federal vehicle auctions in our area. And Frank and I and staff have been talking, like some of these drug seized vehicles that are decent running vehicles that could be driven to a location like Murfreesboro to be sold. Most of the junk, that if we've got something that's from a drug dealer, it's been crashed out, wrecked, or whatever to dispose of, we generally go to CFC with them. We'll just crush it. I love CFC. Just get rid of it. But there are items that would bring a little more money in the right location. There's certain items that need to be on GovDeals, and that's the only way. Like a crane or some specialty item that a Dennis Hunt from Timbuktu would see and say, "Oh, I got to have that." But for the everyday cars, like some of our community patrol cars and vehicles like that, I would like for the county to look into or passing tonight approval to use Dealers Auto Auction in Murfreesboro, and they've got a sale fee of $110 flat. And we've had vehicles, some of our old patrol cars didn't bring $250 on GovDeals, and then the time they take the percentages out, it was a waste of time back and forth, and they answer all these questions. You take that vehicle to Murfreesboro, you leave it, walk away. I don't have to ask questions. I don't answer questions. It's just, it's consigned, it's gone. They've got additional services, which we would not seek unless it was just we had a Maserati we got off the interstate or something. But, they $110 flat fee, then they've got a wash and vac to add $35, full detail $85, and decal removal $229 for the whole car. We take care of all that. We've got the labor to.
You do?
Oh yeah, we've got
Clean up the,
we got labor at the sheriff's office to wash and clean and vacuum cars.
Use
and-
trustees to.
Yes, and they've done many of them.
Okay.
But I'm just looking at that. The cars have brought decent. It's mainly a dealer's auto auction, but when they run them through these sales, there's some of these sales that are public sales, and It's a service right down the road, and it's close, it's simple. They charge us a flat rate fee. Car goes through the auction, and we have a right to put reserves on things. I probably wouldn't. If I had a reserve item, I'd probably go to Gov Deals. That way I've got sight and sound of it. That's one item for vehicles and things of that nature. The next thing, we have a lot of property that we find in the ditches. It's just abandoned, stolen property that we don't know, no idea who it belongs to. Stuff just piles up. Like we've got a DeWalt collection. We've got just used tools and just things that, parts and pieces of stuff, bumpers, just odd and end stuff that we could pallet up and take to a live auction, another live auction. And Tradition Auctions has been an auction service around here for many, many years. It's a farm consignment auction, but they also, twice a year, they have one this coming November 30th, and then they have another one in February. They've been real good to take stuff to that, just hodgepodge things, cleanup items, items that are not on inventory. They're just some old items that's been ordered to be disposed of that might have been stolen evidence. It could be anything. It could be from a washer and dryer to, like I said, a DeWalt cordless drill.
Where's their yard?
They operate those sales at the Bedford County Fairgrounds, and they open up for consignments. Bob Morton is a local auctioneer, lives in Coffee County, lives in Beech Grove. It's part of the old Holbrook Auction Company. When Jack Holbrook passed away, Bob Morton and some of the guys took that over, and they changed the name to Tradition, and that's the reason they call it Tradition, but to keep that service going. But there again, your basic auction fees around, and in particular for this, and is 10% for the first $2,000 that the item may bid up to, plus 5% of a balance, $500 maximum charge on any single item, must be a $15 minimum charge on large items, $5 on smalls. So like we've got hodgepodge boxes of stuff. You just take it over there. They set it on a trailer. Farmers, citizens, whoever come through, and
So that gets us more for those items than just melting it down and taking it to the scrapyard.
then there's some items
Or
that
throwing it away.
are throwing it away. And there's some, one man's junk's another man's treasure, and it doesn't take 30 minutes to run something over there and consign it, sell it.
It's
And
kind of like Clark's or
Yeah.
CFC, where you, instead of buying it by weight, if it's something items, you just put a price on it. That's how
And
they
you get,
auction that.
you're right, and you get two people at an auction, there may be a rare item in there that we may not know about or could care less about, but them two gotta have it, and they may become idiots and give us some more money. And, I would just like us to think outside the box. Our auditor last year, scolded me a little bit. I've never had a ding. And I'm very proud of that. Worked very hard. Frank, Miss Green, and Captain Butler worked very hard to keep our I's dotted and our T's crossed. But he scrutinized me because of the amount of money we brought in. And I laughed at him. And I said, out of the 95 sheriffs, I guarantee I'm the only one that you're having concerns about the amount of money that I bring in and not wasting. He couldn't answer it. I said, I want you to take that to the press. Write me up for ding me. That's a badge of honor.
Definitely give the county more funds that we.
Well,
need,
and
as
most
opposed to
of,
throwing
most of this stuff
selling
goes,
it by the-
most of this stuff does go into the drug fund, but it would also, for any general items that Mariana may have, county maintenance may have,
I mean, for years,
We can
Mariana,
load
didn't
it and
we have
take
that
it,
room back there that was
and
full
it
of
goes
stuff?
into the general fund.
I mean, that kind of stuff right there, we could take and just palletize up and,
Yeah, I've got to.
sale.
get a handle on who's sticking stuff back.
But the gov deals part, we've got a lot of people that, here
Gremlins.
lately, the last
Gremlins.
couple of auctions we've had, they've showed up and they've looked at it and they just turned around and walked off, not paid, not done nothing. And I said, well, I'm done with it. Now, if we've got a
Or
big,
they've paid and demanded refunds.
Yeah.
We have had that happen.
and at these
Or
auctions,
They've paid for it and they've come down there.
when,
Oh, well, you said it ran. No, it's not listed in the description as running. It ran when
it's,
parked.
it's,
I don't want it now.
there's a lot of hours that
And it's
go
a
in.
pain for Mariana to have to,
Yeah.
get them to do a refund or whatever.
All GovDeals is just a government-based eBay. And somebody's gotta be sitting there answering all
That
the.
handles government.
Yeah,
equipment.
and we've got, these are things that we've gotten from drug dealers, that we've gotten through felony burglaries, and we don't know nothing about it. I mean, yeah, we can run around, but I can't put a guarantee on none of that stuff. It is what it is. It's unknown. And if you wanna bid on it or buy it, you need to come look at it, but don't wait till you get down here, and then we're out because we don't have, and folks, we go through, we turn a lot of equipment. We turn a lot of stuff.
Is this inventoried? I mean, we'd write down it's a DeWalt and there's a serial number, part number, or anything? It's not-
No,
we don't
stuff
keep
like
at
that
all?
does
There's no
not.
record of-
No,
There's-
that stuff,
Impossible.
under that
Well,
amount does
I would
not.
think it would be
Yeah,
quite overwhelming, but I didn't know if you did that.
But this is
You know,
like
we go
yesterday.
buy a DeWalt drill, just so happens, and we needed one. We went to Home
Yeah.
Depot and bought one. It cost $150.
But a lot of this stuff.
It's not recorded per
is-
se. The receipt is, of course, the receipt goes to Mariana and she documents that, yeah, we bought one. It may last 2 years, it may last a year.
A lot of this
And then
stuff is
when it
abandoned
does-
property. We end up, we're the landfill of the county.
DOD stuff, that's inventory stuff, right?
DOD stuff is inventory, and there's some of this DOD stuff, like, on these 3 items I'm gonna ask for would be good to go to the Traditions Auctions in Shelbyville.
We get a list
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, once
But
it
the
does.
price on it is not, the value's not accurate.
What the government
Yeah, well,
pays, what the government
sticker
pays
that's
for
on there is
something.
what the government purchased it
Purchased it
for
for.
But that's
at
not
the
what it's
time
really
of
worth.
new.
Thank you. And in order for. me
And
to-
that thing may be 10 years old by the time we get it. Well,
Or older.
it's certainly not worth
No.
$200,000, and we all know how, that was,
$50,000 toilet seat.
bingo, that's where I was going.
So we need a,
$10,000 hammer.
we need a resolution to change or have the option to go to local auctions away from gov deals. Is that what we're looking at?
Well, and Mr. Chairman, I would say keep gov deals, but
Well, since-
y'all might look at renegotiating and let Mariana do a study
Well, it
on
says-
it.
well, we say we'd
I
have the
would do that
option
as
to
an
do it.
additional, let the department head decide where the best place to go with the product may
It just
be.
gives them the option to do either one.
I need to look and see if the county legislative body approved gov deals. It's been a while.
It's been a good while.
This is a commission, so they have a little bit more authority than other committees. But I'm not really sure. I don't remember the gov deals. If that was a resolution and
I
y'all
can't
pass it and
remember.
then the county legislative body said we're gonna use gov deals.
I'm wanting to say that's the way it was back years ago, but I'm not
I was
100%
thinking they just
sure.
jumped up and said, we don't want to do live auctions no more, and
No,
this is where we're
no, I
going.
think it was something to do with Gov Deals came in and had to get
I
approved.
vaguely remember, yes.
Yeah.
So-
Which is fine, I'll review that, and then, I can put something together, we can meet again and go over it and say, we're gonna use this one, this one, this one. These are the contracts for all three of them. So we have the choice, depending on what y'all have to sell.
And I would look at doing it like, you could say at this meeting, these are the auction services we're gonna use for the next physical year, starting tonight
Right.
or 1st of January. I'd like to see it discussed.
Have a sunset date on it.
Yeah, then I could come back
Well,
and
a
renew it.
renewal, because I'm not sure when have we renegotiated Gov Deals?
See, I'm not sure, that's what I'm.
So-
It's been,
I mean, those things need to be, relooked at ever so often to make sure
Right.
we're getting a better deal.
I would
well, and now
say
that they handle it
Technically,
different.
at least every 3 years,
Well,
at least.
Yeah.
because most of our
That's what we're
contracts
on.
are three.
Logically, you would think you would look at that every year to make sure you were getting the best deal.
But like I said, I wouldn't I wouldn't say no to Gov. There's certain
Right.
items that I would request to go on Gov Deals. But there's some of these are just common items that just junk in my eyes
Yes.
that another man would see as a treasure, and it's just disposed of. And I just hate to go CFC it. I'd hate to just, some of this stuff I just put in a dumpster.
We don't have a December full commission
Well,
meeting, do we?
I'd like to get $10 out of it.
Right.
Every little nickel and dime helps.
So any of that would
Absolutely.
give
It
time
does in my
to us
world.
to have a December purchasing.
I'll go find the original, if it was a resolution, or gov deals, and then,
So is there any action need to be
Right,
taken
that.
tonight on it if she's gonna come back?
yeah.
I mean, we don't need the motion for her to look into it, do we?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Should look into it and bring back a written resolution on what we maybe need to do.
You're chairman.
Yeah, I think we can go ahead and get a resolution to do it.
I need to find the gov deals one. I think I know where it's at.
Anybody want to word that, or you want me to word it as a resolution to change, or have the option? It gives you the option to go to local auctions, or Gov Deals, like the sheriff said, what different items you might want to still go with Gov Deals, so we can do that.
If you're
You're all with
making
that,
it,
Frank?
I'll second it.
Once you make it.
I'll make it.
Since I'm the chairman.
I'll,
And I'll second it.
We have
I'll make that
We have a
motion.
motion to Frank Watkins to change it. We have a second by Commissioner Hodge. All in favor of this resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
So I
have
understand
it.
Mariana will come back maybe in December, so we can get it on the county's full legislative body for January.
All right, everybody good with that?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
as a side note, the state of regarding gov deals, the state of Tennessee has, we do have authorization to purchase items that the state of Tennessee lists on gov deals. We just received our username and password. In case the sheriff's department or anybody else sees something on gov deals that belongs to the state of Tennessee, we're authorized to bid on it.
Yeah, well, that document you signed, we sent it in, and that's what we just got back. That was something else.
Well, that also just allows us to go screen it.
It does,
Down
but
there, too.
also Dennis is referring to, we got another username and password, and I already know who the rep is for gov deals, so
Okay.
I was gonna meet, now that I have, an assistant and Jonathan, because I want them both to know what's going on, so it's good to have two people. But yeah, we got that email, and I've got it on my desk, to, that, and yes, Dennis is entirely correct.
Well, I need, we've kind of been at a stalemate in the last year or so, maybe 3 years. We're going through a lot of stuff. In other words, our narcotics guys are out here working, and we're getting stuff like this. And the longer it sits, after I get it awarded, the state's awarded it to us, it needs to roll. And I don't need it to sit around because the tires are gonna sit and rot on it. The batteries are
gonna
going
die.
down, and we're losing money, and we got to roll it. It's got to go.
Right.
And that's where we get, because that drug fund has supplemented a lot of things that the taxpayers not had to do. And I'd like to get the
Well, that is
biggest
the
bang
goal.
for the buck. Yeah.
We've been cleaning it all up, seeing where
Yeah.
we are, where are we with the inventory and
Yeah.
options, all of that, so.
And it's gonna pick up.
So I will talk to these two organizations and get the proposal in writing from them, and then the resolution, and
And so this would come to the CLB.
it would come back.
After
to
the
you.
resolution is,
Yes.
we do the resolution, then it'll
Yeah,
go
I
see.
wanna see how Gov Deals was done, and then we can hear these two of it. But obviously, we can either take their contract, put it in writing, but I'll figure that out later, the best way to do that. So we can use this one, or this one, depending on what you're selling or wanting to sell.
Sounds good. Let's move on to 7D.
C,
Disposal.
yeah, the disposal
Be C,
list.
be D, that'd be
Okay,
Three items to declare surplus.
No, we gotta do D, or
D?
C. C's the disposal list that Mary
Okay.
Ann has got.
this is the list. Okay, so anytime something is sent to our office and disposed, it is brought to this committee, it's brought to this committee, commission, and you'll formally just get the report and have to formally declare it obsolete, disposed. I wasn't sure with all the changes and turnover when was that done last? So this is what we have for the FY 24 audit that we just completed. This is everything that we've disposed. The first, let's see, 4 pages, that's everything that's just pure inventory. It's not being depreciated. The very last page is the items that are capital assets that are being depreciated, because you can see, that where it says depreciation, those are the items that are being depreciated. But we have since, either sold them, web deals, or, private auction, which, as Sheriff said, we haven't done any of those in a while, or they're obsolete, they're deal. So that's what this last page is. You can see the Manchester Health Department's on there, because we sold that. The land is not depreciated, as you know, but the building is. Land is never depreciated. So I just felt better that I should bring this to you, since I do have it in the audit, and it is in the financials for 2024, and you could formally accept it and declare it
Surplus.
surplus.
So these are items that have been disposed of, or
Yes, they
Okay.
have been,
all this is gone then?
yes.
Okay.
So just like I said, I wasn't sure.
Make a motion to declare the items on the list surplus.
Frank Watkins
Second.
makes a motion. Mr. Hodge seconds it. All in favor?
Nah.
Ayes have it. Stuff declared surplus.
And we have to declare those things officially
Right.
surplus
Surplus.
to be disposed
To
of?
be disposed of.
Okay, all right,
Take anything off our records.
Okay.
Has to come to this commission, and I'll have to.
okay.
All right, let's go to 7C now, disposal 2024 list. Oh, no, I mean D, dispatch of 3 items, declared surplus.
The Coffee County Sheriff's Department's requesting to dispose of 3 military items. That would be item 1 in the state inventory list. For the record, that number is 23264TN0003. And then item 23219TN00003. And the third item would be Tennessee property item number 21350TN00023. And that would consist of a GMC 4500 specialty roller bed truck, a military M5 equipment trailer, and some kind of specialty saws that I found.
Which list are they on, do you know? Is this something you
They're not on,
recently?
they're not on your list.
Well, they're on the state list.
They're on, see, this stuff actually, until we get this, there's Tim's signature down there, so we done an email, and he said, we've checked it and checked it twice. It belongs to the state and their inventory.
Okay,
So they're kind of loaned to us?
Yeah, for a
Hey,
year.
Tim.
So
They
the
could
way
recall
this
it.
works, yes, so the way the
I do,
LISO
they're in my
stuff
truck. Is the
works,
door locked?
and I say kinda, because Sheriff's right. We've had items that we've
Okay,
had
yeah, I got a key.
that literally they've called and
All
said,
right,
hey,
appreciate you.
we're taking them back. Okay, so we have to either deliver them or mail them, depending on what they are.
Right.
But typically, most items we get to keep for a year. After the year, the department, down there, LISO department, will issue them as not assigned anymore. When I look them up on the back office that I look up, it will either say assigned or closed. Assigned means that it's here and that we account for it.
It's technically still the federal government's.
And
It's not
then
ours.
closed is that if they have closed it, yeah, they have closed it out of their books, and it is now ours to dispose
They
of
don't
at
want
our
it back.
leisure,
They don't want it back.
within reason. Now, you have things on there that will never be closed.
Yeah.
The MRAP, for instance, that MRAP that we got, that sheriff picked up, it will never, ever get off of our inventory or the state's or federal government's inventory, and we will never be able to dispose of it. The only disposal will be taking it back to them and saying here, which we are currently in the process of trying to do because it is just something that we just cannot utilize and to maintain. But other items, they will literally at any time could call and go, hey, send them back. Or, okay, hey, it's been a year, it's now closed out, like you see in these emails that the sheriff will hand you. That is simply how we do it. We send them an email, here's the item numbers, the property numbers, and the DTID number. Don't ask me what DTID stands for. I don't know. But that's a number they use to, like a serial number. Send it to them, they look it up and go, yep, no, yes, you can, no, you can't, and then they'll send it back and sign off on the very email that I send them. They'll just send it back and go,
And I will-
yes, approved.
I will tell you, we have to be careful with this, okay? Reason being, I know we won't have any troubles while we're here. But if something happens to me or Frank or Mariana, or a new regime comes in, the state cautions and says, hey, because this funds from, that we receive from any sales of DMRO military equipment has to specifically go into the sheriff's budget line items, whether it's the drug fund or the special account number Mariana set forth. It
And so
can-
that formula is already made by somebody,
That's by federal law.
federal law, okay.
Well,
It-
the
it-
property is only to be utilized by law
Law
enforcement.
enforcement. So the
So therefore,
proceeds-
the proceeds
Right.
should only be
It
used by law
cannot
enforcement.
go into a general, it don't matter if it's a county, city, or even the state of Tennessee.
I understand.
That's all set up the same.
So they're trying to supplement what you guys are doing locally.
Well,
On the- they're
some
running
people,
Kind
several
of with
stuff.
equipment.
they don't
yeah.
want it to be used as a fundraiser. It's.
But yes,
we
they are
use-
allows us to get it
they're-
for things that we normally don't have the funding to get.
Yeah, and there's things that we have, that we're looking for, but we have to take a whole bunch of other stuff to get what
Mm-hmm.
we're wanting to cherry pick out of it. And the
You know
rest
that
of
box
It's a
at the
pallet deal.
You know that box
There
at
you
the
go.
auction you want to get, and you've got the one item, but you got to buy
There
the
you,
whole box.
and the military says, hey, law enforcement can get this stuff, and we don't have to pay somebody to come get, because the military spends millions of dollars a year to truck this stuff all over the world to get rid of it.
I asked Frank earlier about, this says, the written request must be include a copy of the 1348 document that you received. What is that? What's a 1348?
Like I told
I don't-
Jimmy,
I
have
don't know
no
where that
idea
come
what a
from.
You know what that is,
1348.
Mariana?
I've never seen one, but I'm sure I could ask.
It says you received it to acquire the property.
And
Oh,
the-
well, I've got the 13, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the 1348 is what we get coming out of there. That is our receipt.
I didn't know what
that-
it was called.
That we get with a property that has the DTID number on
It's
it.
an Army term.
But
Yeah.
we run into a situation with the auditors last year, and he was going on about this stuff, and we've been dealing with this stuff for 30 years. Last year's the first year I've ever had anybody say, "Where's your permission to sell stuff?" And I'm like, we've never had to get it as long as it was off the inventory and the state was showing, because we have to go in and we have to do another inventory every year with the state coordinator on this military equipment, anything. They have to come down here, spot check, look, where's this at? It's right there. Where's this at? Right there. Or they may do it by email. So the state coordinator, I called the other day over this policy stuff, and he's like, we don't, You can
Is
send
that
us,
like a hunting license then? 1348 document? That's a hunting license to
it's
give you?
just a receipt.
It's received, I guess.
It's just,
I guess it's
It's
the
just a
receipt
form.
form, because they will
Receipt.
give us when, like I was telling
just a
Jimmy, when we
form.
go to acquire it,
Kinda
there's a
like
website.
certification
So like,
certificate.
Well,
an SF-97 is a title. In other words, when the military buys a vehicle, they don't get a title,
You
they get a
don't.
certificate of origin, or certificate.
Yeah, the key right here was 1348 document that you received when you acquired the property, so it'd be a receipt.
Yeah.
And like I was telling Jimmy, when we get stuff, Joe Mike,
That's what they sent with it.
is, well, we will get it, there's no form we fill out. It's a website. We go on the website,
in this
look at it.
case, to try to comply with what Mariana, to help cover Mariana with, these auditors don't know what they're doing on this. They don't. I'm just, that's just it. They don't know what about it. The state coordinator said they're idiots. They don't know what they're doing.
I just want it.
So,
I'm putting it in inventory, I always
yeah.
have.
So
I've
to
got it
cover
ready.
for this meeting tonight, Frank emailed the numbers that I sent him, that I saw that we need to get rid of, and he sent back and wrote a little note on there and said, do whatever you want to with it. Do you still have copies of this?
Absolutely.
I'm
Yeah,
submitting
you
this
just
as.
keep those in
I'm submitting
perpetual.
this as
Well,
evidence.
Store those.
my thing, the pursuit vehicles and the military
Yeah.
equipment, I've always treated them.
So
So I just had to put it in.
assets that we buy, she gets inventory. Assets that are given to us by the military would not go on the inventory until we decide we want to title them and use them. Does that
But
make
there's
sense?
some, yeah, but there's still some file where that 1348 document goes along with that piece of equipment is filed somewhere.
There's some of them
So
still
it
in,
keeps
there's
up
some
with
of
it?
them still in the vehicle, their receipts. Battle Creek, Michigan has an entire, if you come in and for some reason say, Sheriff, I want to see a list of everything you've picked up. I call Battle Creek, Michigan, and they can print out the last 30 years spreadsheet of every item we've got. Have we got it? Mm-mm. A lot of it's been destroyed, thrown away, unusable, took to CFC. It's those cherry pick items, because like I said, we may pick up a crate that may have nothing but 9/16 wrenches in it. You can't,
To get one, you have to get the whole thing.
there you go. Or,
We do have a receipt of where we disposed of it, that we can cross-reference.
no. You've got where we've sold it on Gov Deals.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about,
That's
right?
what you're talking
Yes.
about. Yes.
Yeah. So that way somebody can't come in and say, well, we could pull up something and say, yeah, oh, yeah, we did. Well, here's the receipt.
But if
where
it's a
we disposed of it,
consumable
or-
item, it may have got.
So
food
there's
in
a
the
lot of
garbage.
items that are just get used up, like we've gotten clothes,
Yeah,
BDUs. There's no serial number on them.
right.
I mean, matter of fact, I've got some the rats have eat, but there was certain stuff in there, like some riot gear we needed out that we wanted, helmets and stuff. It's anything from toilet paper. I've got a Connex box down there loaded with razor wire that we can deploy quickly if need to. It's just, like I said, it's a lot of usables, but I've got a 2006 Volvo semi truck down there that come from the military. You know, and then there's controlled assets and non-controlled assets. The controlled assets is like your M16s, your armored vehicles. That is the stuff they're chasing to make sure that we have that. Yes.
It doesn't fall wrong.
Yes, these
For whatever reason.
non-controlled assets, yeah, they will do like some Humvees or whatever that are not controlled anymore, and they'll change the codes on them. I had a bulldozer, 700 John Deere bulldozer out at the jail that started out as a non-controlled item, and the Biden administration decided anything with the tracks on it, certain size, is going to a controlled item. It will change again in a few months. It'll go back to a non-controlled item. You can't sell it. Once they put a C control on it, you can't sell it. You got to hold on to it. I've got some items right now I'd love to, as soon as I can get a
But you're
phone call.
keeping- You're keeping a record of that over there, just.
Yeah,
just to
we
keep
have
all
it.
clear.
Well, we have to for the state
Right.
and
Okay.
DOD.
Yeah, see, I get a list. My issue was they didn't send it to me, so I can include it in this past year. I got it late, I'd already closed everything out.
Yeah.
So when I went to talk to the auditors about it, I said, no, I use this as inventory.
But we,
And that's where we got.
what we're at, where she's trying to put it on the county inventory, it's really not county inventory.
Yeah, we're gonna
Until the
put
federal-
a special category called LISO, so
Right,
we know where
but
it came from.
Well, it might be in our keeping, but it's not on our inventory.
Yes, we just
Well,
have to
It's
go.
It
still
is,
a
but-
DOD property.
But I don't want a group
just
of,
leased us,
what
right?
you gotta be
It-
careful,
it-
I don't want a
it's-
group of county
we're borrowing
commissioners
it.
think you can do whatever
guess
you
is
want
the-
with it.
correct.
Cause you can't.
Okay, that's why I'm saying. we're
Yeah,
gonna
that's
follow
specialty marked,
LTSL.
right. That's where we have to, I want it to be clear, we have to be careful with it, cause we'll all be in trouble.
Well, sure.
got-
It's something that they're just letting us borrow for the time until they make up their mind. That can't be
There you go.
officially in our inventory. Or if it is in our inventory, it's titled
But
that.
if somebody comes in and says, Sheriff, I need you to find me that crescent wrench or that pipe wrench, there's no
Well,
way.
That's less than $500.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that, you know, that's
Right.
not what
All
I'm-
right, let's get,
There you go.
let's get back to, this great conversation. We got another meeting at 6. We got people
Okay,
out
these
in the door that
three
needs to
are
get
on
in.
the new list. I don't see
Okay.
this one on the new list, but I've got other lists.
So getting back to, 7D, does
Make a motion to surplus
these
those
three
three
items.
items.
Got a motion by Frank Watkins to surplus the 3 items?
And because you said that we've already been signed off, that's what these emails were? Correct?
Yes,
Okay, so we're free to dispose of these now.
yes.
So I'll second it.
You'll second that. All in favor of this?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it.
Okay, so what's this one?
Let's see,
What's that?
saws.
That's, they're
Right,
saws.
okay. So you're talking about these two right here.
Those two are vehicles.
Now, that one's a
These
vehicle.
are the
Oh,
ones you're
yeah.
surplusing.
Well, no, those, the ones that are marked closed, that's closed, that would be surplus. And then these two items.
I don't know, is she going to use these numbers? What
I
do you-
don't know
Those
which numbers.
are on my new list.
Okay, so these,
They're right there.
okay.
Yeah.
Let me mark them for you.
And I wrote those down, so I'm confused.
Yes, sir.
What are you surplusing?
So
Yes, sir,
it's-
we are. I'll be out
one's-
there in just a second. Don't-
there's
no,
two
we're
vehi-
finishing
no,
up
There's
right,
a
okay.
vehicle, a trailer, and
about that.
You got, all
saws.
right, 23, 264, you've got our star back.
Yes, I have, those are the ones on the new list.
And 23, 19, you got a star back. Yep,
Those three, but I can't find this one.
let's see it. It probably
That's the
may-
saws.
Probably won't be on there. It's,
Well, that's
And I
fine.
forgot when that was acquired.
21,
It'd been a while.
350.
It'd been
I
like
can probably find
21.
it, but those are the three we're motioning right now, is what I'm trying to get at.
No, this top one, Mariana, that one, no.
the reason I'm submitting this to you is because it's got, if somebody wants to ask.
Yeah, this one right here, Mariana, is that one.
Because that's all the
Is
state
no.
can do. There's no form.
That one's not free yet.
So we're doing.
When we
Those are just
asked
the
to
people in
check,
charge of
he
that
said that one is not
information,
free.
It's
right.
the auditors trying
Okay,
to make
so
up something to do.
It's
you want
those
these
two.
and this one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's what I was
Yeah.
confused.
Yes, ma'am.
They've never, even Elbert Baker, who done it for 30 years, it's like,
It's
what?
okay, we'll see, all right.
What are they
I used to
doing?
just do a budget.
Well, we've done due diligence to prove that we're following all the,
I'm doing what they tell me
right.
to do.
Motion to
Hey.
adjourn.
Got a motion to adjourn by Frank Watkins?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.